good friend Michael Roberts is back, and we did this 2023. We brought in the trees and we whacked them off and we boxed them. And so for the 2 years that they've been growing, he's going to talk about and then follow up on it. So Michael Roberts, and you can talk about this first. So, okay, thank you.
Commercial first?
Yeah.
You know, this is the first club I ever belonged to, so this is home for me. You guys were all my friends, right? So, okay, Bonsai Rendezvous, October 24th through the 26th. We have 24 workshops lined up and 8 educational seminars, which are free to everybody who has paid to be there for the day, at least. Hey guys, Morrow and Suthan are gonna be headliners. They're both gonna be doing bring your own tree workshops on Friday. So there's one in the morning for I think 5 people, and then another one in the afternoon for 5 people, each of them. So that's 10 spots. These guys are world-class bonsai artists, both of them. I mean, Morrow goes all over the world. Suthan has won the national show 3 times, more than any other artist. So they're outstanding. Both of these guys are outstanding. Suthan is really, really good with Chuhin and Shohin size trees, but he likes to demo large trees. So we've got a little bit of both for him. Morrow's gonna do a big California juniper that looks really beautiful. There are gonna be pictures of that. We have Joshua Roth lined up. We're gonna be finishing up the selection of those guys sometime towards the end of this month and announcing them at the 1st of May. Joshua Roth by John Kim. Here. Yeah, that's you, John. We appreciate you very much. Thank you. $1,000 for the winner of the Joshua Roth. And gift certificates. There he is. Hey, Mitch. Gift certificates for all the other contestants. So it's going to be, that's an all-day deal on Saturday. There's also going to be what we call breakfast with the headliners. We're going to auction off a couple of trees on Saturday night, and the winner of those trees, they'll be unstyled. The winner of those trees will get to have breakfast with the headliner and discuss styling of one or the other of the junipers that they're going to be there. And then they'll do them like kind of a bring your own tree demo in front of the crowd, whoever's there on Sunday. I think there's 26 vendors showing up. So it's a big event, and we're all looking forward to everybody coming. If you haven't, we open registration on June 9th, which is I think it's a Monday morning. And full registration on June 9th, and they have first dibs on all of the workshops. So then we open up on July 6th for day registrations, and they kind of can take whatever workshops are left. Anybody who's registered has access to all the vendors and also access to watch the workshops and the demos and all of that stuff. So there's something for everybody here, beginners through advanced. Please come. All right?
One more thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Any new members tonight? New members?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I forgot. Stand up and introduce yourself, Dan.
Danny Acosta. Got into this hobby about May, so this May will be a year. I really appreciate that everybody has embraced me and passed on some of their knowledge, like that right here, Mr. Mike and Steve that's not here. So appreciate. Oh, and Bill too. Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you, Danny. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you, Michael.
Okay, so like Joe told you, 2 years ago, we started 3 junipers, or 3 elms, Cork Park elms. They were donated to us by Ed Clark, and what we did was we started the first night with basically raw material in cans still. Everybody got to select which tree they wanted to start on. We boxed that and pruned it that night. And I think Mitch won that tree. He's brought it back to us tonight. Later on, like in August, or no, in April or May, we did a second generation. So Joe and I boxed the other two trees within a week of that first meeting. And then we brought back all three, and the club picked the second tree that they wanted us to work on, so we cut back that tree, and it was about the same kind of place as these are now. And we auctioned that one off. I think that one was, who got the second one?
Lindsay, I think.
No, I thought,
No, I got the third tree, that one.
oh, okay, yeah, Lindsay got the triple trunk.
Was it the second
Yeah, the
meeting we
triple-
got the tree?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
then he
that-
gave it.
Lindsay's tree has changed hands several times since then.
Yeah. He put it back in the raffle, and then Mike won it, and then Mike gave it to me, and, so I've been
Taking care of
taking
it.
care of it, yeah,
And then, so it's returned,
yeah.
and then we have the third one we did, and it's right here. And so all three trees are back. We have photographs of how the trees look initially. So when you guys come up, before we even start, you guys can come up and take a look at the photos to see how things looked at the get-go and see where they're at today. And then we're gonna do our first of the spring pushback. This is a really important time because we have to cut back. The growth in the spring is really vigorous. And when I style elms, I like to pay attention to the internode. You don't get branches between the internodes, so it's really important to keep your internodes short. And in the spring, they just explode and they have really long internodes. And so you've got to push back to where the internodes are tight and then let them go. The second flush of growth is a lot less vigorous, but it's still pretty extreme. And so by about August, we'll have to push these back again. And that last flush, the internodes stay fairly small. And so then you can kind of do a nice profile on them. Little bit, you have to pay a little bit attention to where the strong stuff is and where the weak stuff is at that point. But overall, you want to get uniform growth year after year. And so by constantly working where the strength is versus where the weakness is and keeping the internodes short, pretty soon, within a few years, you're going to have very even growth all over the tree, and that's what you're looking for. And then each year, you just kind of try to maintain that even growth and build up the ramification. And the elms are really wonderful. They're great trees. They ramify easily, and they grow like weeds in Southern California, and they're a lot of fun. These are great trees. You almost can't kill them. Just pay attention, and you're good to go, okay? So what I think we should do first is, Mitch, if you could bring your tree up, we'll put it on the table. Is it
It's
already
right
up
there.
here?
Yep. It's there.
Okay.
They all
We'll
look
put
the
this other one up, and we'll give everybody a chance to look at where all three of them are, and then we'll talk a little bit about this one Joe and I styled early on. Yeah, what was it, the first of this week?
Yeah, Monday, I went over his house Monday, because I knew he wouldn't have time to do all three trees. So we did that one and this other one here.
So what we cut this one back as kind of a template for all the other guys to look at. And so Mitch is gonna prune his tree, and we're gonna have you prune your tree. All right? So we'll go from there.
Come down, right?
And I'll help you guys out, okay? So it's kind of, once we start pruning, it's not something that everybody's gonna be, pruning trees is pretty basic stuff. So it'll be sort of a free-for-all. You guys can come up and watch them, what they're doing and that, and have snacks and just talk among yourselves. And then we'll talk about it at the end, okay? Any questions?
When you're pruning, are you trying to start ramification?
when you're pruning?
So yes, so what we'll be doing tonight is we'll be watching the internode length really carefully and pruning back, directional pruning back to just where the internodes start to elongate. And try to keep things, thin it out so that we get lots of light and air down inside, so that any back budding that we can get will happen, and we'll just go from there, okay? This is pretty much what we're gonna go for, like what this one is right here. Yes, sir.
Are you gonna, when you fertilize, do you change the fertilizing throughout the growing season, or just do the same?
So, I use two kinds of fertilizer when I fertilize. I use organic and Osmocote when I first fertilize. Like right now would be a good time to fertilize these. Then the organic material is gone within about 3 or 4 weeks. And the Osmocote just kind of holds it over till the next time you touch it, which is generally about 2 or 3 months, 12 weeks, somewhere in there. And then you just repeat it. That's what I do. So I don't start really fertilizing until about February. And then I finish up fertilizing sometime in October or November, whenever I profile it at the end of the year. And the Osmocote will last pretty much through this, through the winter, and helps get them going when it starts to warm up. This year it was a little bit weird. We had, it stayed cold and damp, but no real rain. And so trees didn't seem to bud out quite as quickly this year as they normally do. Normally by the first part of February, mid-February, my elms are already budded out and started to grow. This year I didn't see them start until March, mid-March, someplace like in there. So, but once they did go, they took off. So I imagine Joe's tree, Mitch, your tree probably didn't start really going until first part of March.
Right, and I was a little worried because we had reduced the root ball by about 50% because it was pushing it out of the box.
Right.
So when I didn't see it start to push, I thought, oh my God, I'm the only
Mike killed
person
it.
on earth who and then it just took off.
Yeah,
Yeah, mine didn't bud out till almost 2.5 weeks ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Lindsay, you're even colder than we are. You probably didn't see hardly any growth until.
Right, kinda like Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot later this year.
So it's been awkward, but yeah, they look really good now. And as you can see, we're even on Mitch's tree here, he's starting to get secondary nodes are pushing already on a lot of these. So you'll see that when you come up. But I want everybody to come. This is a tree that Joe and I did at the first of the week, and this is kind of the template that I'd like all of these guys to do on theirs. Push back so that it looks like this, and thin it out enough to where lots of light and air are getting inside so they'll back bud. We can start creating ramification this year. All right? Any other questions?
So during this cutback, are you also selecting your branches?
Yes. Directional pruning, selecting branches, taking out the unwanted stuff, that kind of thing.
Are we gonna
I think we cut about half of this tree off.
Leaving some on that
So-
need to
so-
thicken?
So the branches that you want to thicken, like these little guys out at the tips, leave them a little bit long, you're right. So that you can encourage as much growth out there as you can. But for the most part, like, this guy here, we left him a little long, that sort of thing. But yeah, exactly.
Are we gonna leave any of the first branch long? To thicken up the,
So
thickening
if
up
the
the,
first branch is weak and needs to grow, this one didn't. And in fact, this first branch on this side over here is really straight and kind of uninteresting. We need to start pushing this back to something behind it, okay? To start creating some movement in this. When you guys look at the pictures of this tree, there were no branches on this side of the tree at all. All of this stuff is within 2 years. And so the different owners on this have been growing these branches strong, which is good. And now we need to start building some movement into them. Joe and I kind of are pushing did we pull this down any? I guess we did, but, you know, this one, you know, we've kind of pulled things over and created it so you can see all three trunks. I think we're gonna change the first repot, next repot, we'll change the angle just a little bit to see in a little bit more, to see all three trunks, but this is pretty much kind of on track. Bill?
On fertilization, you put the osmo coat on, and you still do the, organic every 6 to 8 weeks or whatever?
Yeah.
Put the osmo coat on there too?
Yeah, I do both at the same time. There's a lot of micronutrients. I use chicken poop. It's pelletized. I get it from Bob Shiner, and it's really, I get 40-pound bags for like, you know, $11. There have been some people tell me that chicken poop doesn't work so good. It's got a lot of, what is it? Huh? Salt in it, which might not be so hot for the trees, but I've never had a problem. I used to use Green King religiously. That was my favorite, and that was basically chicken poop. It came from Japan, so it was good chicken poop. If you can find Green King now, you know, 20 kilo, what is that bag size? 2 kilos? They sell it for over $100. I mean, you know, that and BioGold are both imported from Japan, and they cost a fortune.
What about the fertilizer that David and June sell in the cans?
Yeah, you know, that stuff, they import that stuff, and David swears by that stuff. I've
Yeah.
never used it, to be truthful with you.
I'm just starting.
Yeah. Does it break down good for you? Or
I
does
put
it
it
sit
down.
there forever as a cake?
I put it in baskets.
You crack,
I put it in little, you know,
oh, you so, but
Fertilizer
do you see it dissolving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dogs likes it a lot.
Rats.
You know,
no, I have rats, I haven't noticed it.
as soon as you find what works in your garden and you get a kind of a rhythm going with it, don't let me talk into anything else. Go with it, keep it up. You know, it's what works for you in your garden, and you can kind of start to see how it's working and you get a rhythm going with it. Don't change. If it's working and trees look healthy and they're growing strong and they're good color, there's no reason to change. You don't need to spend a lot of money on fertilizer. There's, you know, if it comes from Japan, it's supposed to be special, but I swear, you know, it's no different than what you can get here. Chicken poop is chicken poop, I don't care.
Some has salt.
Any other questions? So you guys should be standing up here answering questions about your tree as they come up to look, and everybody should take a look so they have a good idea of what they're up against. Joe, you can answer questions about yours, and once everybody's had a chance to look at everything, then we'll all get started on pruning, and I'll help you guys, okay? Does that work? Okay.
Were all the trees potted in the same substrate,
Yes.
which was what?
Yes, we used a 1-1-1 on all of these, and in the top, about third of it, we put a little organic material. And that's a good question. For me, I think that putting a little organic material in the top third of the pot is a really good idea in Southern California, because things tend to get hot here during the middle of the summer, and that organic material helps to hold the moisture and keep the tree a little bit cooler so that it doesn't dry out and kill all your top roots.
Sphagnum moss, is that what you use?
Yeah, in the summer I put sphagnum moss on it.
That's a light coating on top,
Yeah,
you know. You can use pine bark as your organic material.
Do that.
I like to use,
Yeah, a few-
you know, cocoa bean husks,
Yeah.
you know, cacao husks on mine. Some people use cocoa mulch on top of theirs, cacao, you know, like coconut husk on top of theirs. If you use sphagnum or coconut husk, on the top, make sure you just do a thin layer. If you put like an inch of that stuff up there, then you're blocking all of the food going through and the water going through and all of that kind of stuff. It keeps it moist, but you know, you have a hard time. So just a really thin layer in there, okay? Good questions. Anybody else?
Are these in full sun?
Yes.
All the time. Even after you prune them. Even when I first I try to repot or rebox while they're still dormant before they start to push. And so I can bring those out and it's not hot. You know, it's mostly overcast and easy. So they work fine. If for some reason you had to rebox or repot and, you know, after it started to leaf out, you would need to go through and reduce the leaf mass down a lot and then kind of put them in a semi-shade until they have a chance to recover. Good questions. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
For the 1-1-1 soil mix, was that all one size, all medium size, small size?
So, good question. Some people will do a whole tree in one size. For me, I like to put a little bit coarser material, maybe 3/8 underneath for good drainage. And I like to even add less akadama down there and more pumice and lava down underneath. It drains well, doesn't break down as much, and then put the more expensive stuff on, you know, on the edge of the root ball and up for the top third. And then I use the finer stuff in the top third and above, okay?
Thank you.
Can I share your secret weapon about fertilizing with the sphagnum moss?
Sure, go for it.
You sure?
Most of these guys go.
Brilliant. He takes sphagnum moss and he soaks it in
Fish emulsion.
fish emulsion
And seaweed.
and seaweed, right? Okay, and so then when he puts the sphagnum moss on the top, every time you water it, it's leaching out some of the fish emulsion, and the I'm using it on several things, and it seems to be very helpful.
Are you selling that product?
I've kind of wanted to pelletize fertilizer for a while because I do a mix of stuff, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But you know, the chicken poop is pelletized already. It works great. And $11 for a 40-pound bag, you almost can't beat that. Anybody else wanted secret ideas?
Are you teaching classes?
Oh yeah, I teach up in Kenora every second Saturday of the month, but those are typically all nursery material, which everything I've ever bought has always been inexpensive nursery material that I've started. And just pay attention to what you're buying, and I think Bill will tell you that that's probably the easiest, most fun way to get started. You don't have a lot invested in it, so you can really experiment and try different stuff. And if it doesn't work, you only lost a couple of bucks. You go out and buy, you know, somebody else's material that they've already started for, you know, a couple of $100. You're less likely to take chances and try things. And as a result, everything starts to look the same. Okay, let's do it.
So first, you look at the bottom, then on the top,
It was sitting there.
one. Or either or.
You interested in these babies?
And then that.
Figured you might like them.
With the
Project. Otherwise, I can put them on the table.
It's like a little kind of. And then mix it. And then that, and then after that, then I'll either put the cocoa or I'll put the.
One's on run pictures.
He still has, I think, I don't know, you have to check. He brought some good about that. That one came from Kumar. Yes. Yeah, I have a picture of it up there. Yeah, that one actually sent me more. Yeah, he got that one. Hey, Roger, we just.
Ellen?
Yeah.
Ellen?
Was so much time, and they said his name was
I know him. Somebody there all the time. I had so
I'm surprised actually. This is actually the second Well, this had, about 3 weeks ago, this had little buds, and everything. Green.
You took her, yeah.
Green. And I had other stuff that was already out, watching out, and I was going to I didn't catch it. And,
Same thing here, man.
For me, I want
what you can see is it's getting thicker. It
Otherwise, to me, it's too yeah, so I introduced the picking out.
So it'll eventually evaporate.
No, I need to do it.
I'm gonna tell Joe I want it back. Joe, I want it back.
Oh, no, we wired a little bit. I got a little bit of wire on the top. On that one.
Joe, I want it back. Lindsay wants it back.
And we're putting it down. I'm putting it back. Because,
Hey,
you gotta be careful.
so that's that, but every year I have my date set next year. I think that'll cover next year, then I'll probably buy. I've got
Check it, and then I take that wire out. And I went to look at it, oh my God.
What was this like when you got it? Were these all branches starting? So these branches were already there.
We'll figure it out.
So this is after?
Mike said these guys was for a month.
Right, Trump.
They are hard to tell.
See what I wanted to see? See what I wanted to yeah, this was the one that Lindsay won, and then he rerouted it, and he won it, and then Mike did it to me. And I took it to Lindsay, last year, and just to get it
Pretty impressive. So I'll take that.
Talk to me about it. I see you last week and I go,
No, yeah. So I'm gonna, no, yeah, I'm gonna do it for that. So I'm
So that's what they said, back ready. You cut it back and get this backbone. And then here you can go branching off of this.
What is your, do you have an image of what this tree will look like when you're,
So I want to get to a height of about here. and then right now I'm just working on my branches. I want to get my large main branches, and then I'll figure out like here, like on this one out here, I've got 3 branches off of this one. I'll probably cut. I haven't decided. I think I'm going to take this one because it's just straight off, and then just focus on this. And then later on I'll cut this down so you don't see this ugly stump. But the same thing for all of these cuts. If you look like here, I'm just building up the branching and see which one I like, and then I'll cut it back. So if I like this one here, if I put this here, this branch is coming down to a lot better attractive. And that's how I'm going to see what happens. So they'll get more branching as it comes another foot. Or you can see like back here too. On this side, this is the better one, right? So now I've got options. I've got this branch coming this way. I've got this branch coming here, and this one coming here. This one, right? So the movement of the tree is coming here and coming up. And so I've got the choice depending on what comes out. If I want my movement to come this way, then I'll let this one grow out. This one, right? So it'll come out this way, then I can branch. This one here doesn't do much. It's really long. It's not in a nice part of the tree because it's almost vertical, but it helps to thicken this up. So sometimes I'll let one get nice and thick so that it just thickens the space across the back bud. Right? And then I can go ahead and I can just get rid of it.
You've got a lot to it. I love this bark.
The bark is really
Hey, Cedric.
Hey, how's it going?
Talk about your tree.
Okay, so this was the stump from 2 years ago. You can see we've had very little branching.
Other camera, this camera too.
There we go. Okay,
There you
it's
go.
got very little branching. This is the stump from 2 years ago. So over the last 2 years, have focused on more branch development. So I've been feeding it really, really hard. So all these things that were the little branches, getting them to about 3/4 of an inch. I want to get these to be about an inch thick, and then I'm going to cut them down. So I want to get all my branching first before I start worrying about ramifications.
So this is a year ago. That picture?
Yeah, that was a year and a half ago.
Wow,
That was a year
that's
ago.
pretty crazy.
That was a year ago.
That's pretty crazy. Awesome, man.
Oh, thanks, Joe. You can't kill these trees.
For optimizing.
All right, here we go. Everybody's had a chance to look?
No.
Start.
No.
No.
Start chopping it up.
I wish I had more time. I don't want to take it back too far.
There's nothing coming out of it.
Well, no, so what happened is I dusted a new set of
All right, Mitch.
but I have to
Talk about your tree.
Talk about it? It's the best one. It got, like I said, I thought I had killed it because it was just sitting there really short. So within 3 weeks, this has gone from just having little bitty green buds on it to going crazy. So these are the before pictures, but I don't know what order they're in. So that's going to be the front, and this is going to be about the maximum height. That's where the crown's going to be at. Probably end up having to do some thread graft next season to get some things in here where there just doesn't seem to want to do anything. And so I don't know if every tree is going to have that, issue, but
It's hard because it's been shaded out.
well, but it hasn't been shaded out. That's
It's just cut it out.
cut it out really fast.
Cut it back. That's probably the cutback at this point. All right, have some fun.
It is fun.
These guys, there's one, two, we leave it, the directional crew will go this way. So go long, right? Like this, okay? So you got nothing back here, but you've got nodes back there, right? So you pick one.
What I do now?
You run out and go like that. And then force all these guys back here. Okay, so this guy's aimed down. That's kind of not very good. You want to either wire that up and shorten it, or take it off like this. Leave that first one right there. Just do that one. Same here, straight down. Shorten them up, okay? So start with the low stuff, and then we'll work up. We'll push the top side. You push harder because the bottom side is weakest. So you want to leave most of this. So this could come off here. You've got to get back built in order to get movement. Because you don't want to try and wire.
Yeah.
So that's what these guys are. Joe, these are yours.
Okay.
But I'm going to use them. So look at the top side. So this is always going to be the smallest. You're going to go long, right?
That's what he said. But this one would turn out, at the time, yeah. So now it's trying to worry about.
So I got this.
You don't worry about it long. Is he helping you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get guidance. Yeah.
Same for you, Cedric.
I know.
This guy is, is this the front side? Yeah. So we push this over, so this guy can come off, and you can cut back to maybe this right here, and try to force some of this to go, and then if you can get some stuff going this way, off of this part, and then cut back to that later on, okay? That's how you're going to create your direction. So this guy here is really wicked long and tall, so we'll push it just to one, okay? And try to force some of this back here to get where we want to be. Same like with this. Take it back to maybe right there. So this thing is going to be almost non-existent when you get done. Really? But always leave a leader in every case, okay? So this branch is weak, so if you cut the strong one, it's gonna force this. So you can just come out and tip this guy like right to there. Now you've got, so 1, 2, 3, right? You could take this whole thing off and just use these two, right?
Yeah.
This has got a lot of nice movement in it, so it looks really good. You just have to push it hard to start to really control it. You know, we may even jam this at some point. You know, a lot of people are afraid to put jams on deceivers because it can always come off. It's kind of cool. If you can trim this up and look really good, kind of,
Yeah, get rid of that.
yeah. Again, all of this area right here, not right now, but maybe we do it at the end of the year or something. And if you get a lot of cool growth going on there, it could be really fun.
Take some cuttings?
Ask the owner.
Yeah, take as many as you want.
Just at the winter time. So I never got a chance to pick up one.
Well, this thing grows like a weed, so.
Yeah, yeah. So like this, it's just like, normally what I do is like I go over to the last curve and then let it grow and then come back.
Well, that's what I've been doing. So like before, because it had nothing on it. So I was letting these grow out like 6 feet and then cutting them down.
Nobody sells pork now,
Yeah.
and these grows very, very fine.
Okay. What do you got?
And
So maybe here, take that guy out, this guy, and those two, right?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, take this guy out altogether. Shorten this guy back, something like right there, and then leave it. You know, this will tip this one out here to force all this stuff to be. Okay.
And over there trimming, we'll trim it, you know. Yeah. So
There you go. Instant movement.
Yeah.
let's talk about, you know,
The tree's gone.
Tree's gonna be gone almost. We got like 3 left.
The demo over.
So right now you're just trimming back, is it just 30?
And along with that, I'm also looking at
Why is there one over there?
how many leaves there are too. So if I can't tell,
bloom style. When I did my bloom style in Santa Clara,
those were the three that we
the guy that was doing it,
if you look at this right here,
what happened in 2 to 3 years.
doing bloom style things like
longer right
this.
about in here.
And I'm like, hey, how
So
can
I'm looking for a place in here to kind of just, and then the leaves also start getting really big here. I'm every 10 here.
And then those people that spend $60 that's
If you want some bigger ones, I've got some bigger ones.
They say you can let them go further away.
yeah, and they're what I did from seeds. And they grow, let it grow.
You know, here, this one has already like, so this one is already starting.
The B side, I would give you like 1
Okay.
And then in numbers 2, that's where it's.
So, have you ever tried seeds from Montezuma cypress? Have you ever tried Montezuma cypress? Have you ever tried that from seeds?
No.
So I've got 15 that I started from seeds. I'm trying to see how they're gonna go.
And then so when they saw what I have, hey,
Yeah, just take them. They're Cork guys.
That's right.
and then
That's
I bought that biscuit too, the ceramic one, the bigger one.
Gotcha. Rooting on
I can remember you. If I see it, I'm going to.
Yeah, and I can put it in a bucket and put it in the shade.
and I have.
So can I grab it?
And then I took ask you.
Oh, okay.
Today, like a pile of money.
Okay, so Greg is here. Let's go buy raffle tickets.
Let him go.
This is the,
How have you been,
the
Peter?
special tonight.
Oh, pretty good, pretty good.
Can I have some of these?
Yeah,
Take
take
them.
them.
Take the cuttings. Okay, we take the cuttings.
Take them.
Yeah.
Sorry, those trees are.
Yeah, I want to keep this one.
Are they good for show me?
It's on the home now. Exactly.
Don't worry about making it look pretty.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not worried about making it pretty.
We're just kind of
Yeah.
trying to force the backside stuff, you know, as much as possible. Like that guy, this guy, you can just nip it out here someplace. Yeah, that, like that.
I'm starting a room now. You put them in a hot house?
What I do is I love it, dude.
Yeah, I get a big bucket.
So this guy will end up coming this way. This guy will end up coming like that. This guy will be back. This guy will be over here like that. This inside one, I can maybe come out. I can do anything. Leave it for right now. Eventually we'll take that out and use we'll keep this one and use that.
Thanks for letting me borrow your tools.
You want to clean this stuff and we'll put some on?
Yeah. Or I can do it when I get. I can do it. I was gonna do it this weekend. So. All right.
Joe, what? Trash can? Right over here. Why don't you bring it over?
I'll get it.
So,
But you flat cut?
yeah, we flat cut, we took 2/3 off. Can I take some?
Oh, wow, okay, so in other words, you can look and see where the Navari, where you like it, and then you flat cut it there. Do you have to chamfer the edge at all?
No, we just went straight across.
Straight across?
The
Because,
sawzall, we did
Michael?
same with that one. They were only $5.
because see, with olives, we flat cut, well, we flat cut them and then we would chamfer the edge.
See, I don't do that.
You know,
Flat cut it.
and then the roots just come out.
You could chamfer the edge too, but yeah, these was just flat cut.
John Cedric, that's it? You
I'm gonna clear the top off.
Next person. Well, let it grow, right?
Let it grow.
On my fingers. Come to like right
I was just worried that it wasn't going to die. It's not going to die. No, but I didn't water for a month because of the fires. So like, I thought I lost about 10 of my trees, but I was just like every day was cutting. Yeah, went out to Dina. So I lost some pine, I lost some other ones, and so House is still standing, so I'm lucky. That don't matter. Yeah. Actually, I showed Kathy because I have one of her trees. I'm like, look, just so you know, I showed the tree. I said, it's still there, it's looking good. But it's just funny, I thought because of the fire, because we knew the winds, so I had put some trees. Yeah. So I had taken some trees that had all because the winds, I put them by the back of the house. Those are the ones that I lost as they got on fire. The ones that I had by the house were actually okay. And then,
Don't be shy, Mitch. You know, like Al Nelson says,
You gotta make it ugly before you make it pretty.
bite the bullet.
Right, bite the bullet.
How's your elm doing?
Good?
It's going?
It's going.
Is it growing as fast as these?
No.
Come on, Mitch, hurry up.
These look crazy good.
Hey, it's not a speed competition.
It's a speed competition.
Speed competition?
It is.
Oh, sorry.
Come on, Mitch, hurry up. You got it.
Let's go to your house, but Joe said he's pretty flu.
Just don't cut yourself like I did.
I'll
swim in them.
Melina was trying to get me to do some flower arrangements. And first thing I did, bam, cut right into my finger. So I'm like, oh, so what happened? I'm like, I cut into my finger. How bad is it? It's pretty bad.
You don't need stitches, it's not bad.
I would just glue everything back together. That's super good. Yeah, I'll do that.
Look like that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the gel one for buzzing moss. You gotta do it immediately because if you don't, the chance is gonna get infected with blink on.
Super good.
Yeah.
They're like, you really need more stuff.
Hey, I wanna try it too. Moss wood.
Let me say this again. Once you have one in the ground, you never get rid of it. You can't get rid of it. It's a quirk. I put one. I moved it from the other house, left it in the ground for a year, moved it in the ground, moved it. Trees keep coming out. You're digging and can't get rid of it.
Drop the trees.
Shovel it out. Shovel out. See it doesn't die. It comes back year after year.
If you wanted it, it would have died.
Yeah. I went to it comes back year after year. Come back.
Good time there.
It took us 4 hours. Yeah, we all worked together. It was great, man. Gabe's over here working on one side, I'm working on the other side. And we got it all prepped and got it going. I said, tell me what you need, you tell me what we need. We told him, you know, tell us what you want done. You know what they do? They get people. Yeah, we're talking about the big olive. The big olive. The big olive that we did. That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said. You just showed him. He goes, look at that.
I have a picture. I showed it to him. Ribs, rice, beans, salsa.
And then to top it all off,
Oh yeah, we were in the hockey game. This summer we were at the
Oh, really?
in the town. Oh, really? So we all went out there.
And they won. It was a beautiful, beautiful day.
Oh yeah, we saw fights and we saw overtime. You know, it was you wasted your money. Yeah, you got cheated. Oh, really? Yeah, I heard that guy. he hasn't had a chance. He didn't have time to go down Oh, he is gonna come? Yeah, my guy comes tomorrow.
How many times did you cut back on that?
Well, this is the first time, because, so I'm in Altadena, and getting any water for a month. So I just have been babying it, so this is the first time. I didn't even put any fertilizer on it about a week ago.
First time.
I had another elm, I put fertilizer on it 3 weeks ago, and it was 2 weeks, I burned it. So that's like, okay, I'm not gonna do any more fertilizer, so I know these things are recovered, because they got stressed by not getting any water.
And it still survived though.
Still survived. Last year I cut this back like 4 times.
Okay, all right.
So that's last year I focused on building out all the branches. Last year, yeah. Last year I did a lot of things.
Wow. They pick bitches.
That's a big change.
Yeah.
I went to his house and we boxed that one, on a triple truck, and we brought him back 8 years. And
They pick the next one. That's redwood. So if it,
now you can fit it back in the car, huh?
Yeah, well I have my wife's car, so
Okay.
it fit there.
Looking good, Mitch, looking good.
it holds up because it's too thin. So I like to use redwood.
What are you doing, making 3? Or just eyeballing?
It just seems to be on this tree in this species, and around 3 or 4 leaves, the internodes start to get longer. Okay, so I'm looking for the length of the internodes, but I also know that whatever I cut back is going to grow. So, you know, I'm looking for about 3 to 4 leaves or the internodes, whatever one is happening first. So that's kind of it. I've seen some videos where people are actually cutting them back to 2 leaves, but those have already kind of ramified or they've already have enough, you know, going on. So, you know, if I'm looking at this one, these are really close right here, and then right out of here, they start getting longer. And this one is definitely much longer than this, so I'm gonna pick it there. And I'm not an expert.
The other side.
So, you know, this is your thing.
I can already see a lot more than I do.
And some of them like this one, I'm still gonna cut that one.
This is where we started.
Yeah, that's where we started. So where we started.
So we need to pull this way. Don't we?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, because you can't tie your foot.
Turn it around to where the front is, so we can see it.
This is the front.
This is our front right here. Okay, so this branch needs to come in.
I don't know about the big ones.
Yeah, one thing that's about.
Ones you can do.
You take a look on it.
Yeah, you can take these and stick them in the ground.
By coming to like about.
They'll grow.
I have so much stuff in the ground now that I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I made that mistake too.
Oh, you mean the fun? And roses and geraniums and hanging baskets, camellias, as well as bonsai people.
Yeah. Yes, that's cut paste.
You gotta know what you're doing to kill them, is that what you're saying?
So this is polyvinyl hyperlock. There's polypropylene and polyvinyl. Polypropylene is stiff as hell. Polyvinyl is pretty flexible. Then there's also aquarium tubing, and that's clear. But that stuff doesn't hold up to the light. It's about It's been my favorite.
Yeah, yeah. So like 2 weeks ago, that kind of helped us out too. Late year, yeah. Yeah. Wait, so that's the year.
Tell me, look at it. That right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go with that?
Good, yeah.
Okay, so you see you've got stuff out here. As soon as you've cut this off,
Like Al Nelson said, gotta make the tree.
cut back here. Okay? Or we can just cut it off right now and let these guys go. Your choice.
I think we can cut it here because the silhouette is tied in anyway.
Okay, so where are you going to cut it to? Right there?
Cut it there, yeah.
Cool? And that won't scar it.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Like you said 3 weeks ago, this was
No, it's not.
It's hanging down here.
Okay, so that's actually kind of a cool branch.
It is a cool branch.
So
That's why I just let it run for a little while.
let it run and we'll wire it up kind of like right in there. Let me hold it for you so you can see. So if I go like this,
Yeah, it needs something down there.
so this guy can come, these guys can kind of come out, right? This one's right here.
Come off or out?
Just keep that.
And now I didn't think, I should have,
This guy's coming off.
Here, let me do it from here.
yeah.
So even all this up in here came out.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
The whole branch came out.
Yeah, nothing.
So where are we going? This is great.
This is just great.
We'll keep that right there, like
Yeah,
that.
yes. Okay. Just, there's nothing.
Want to clean it up? When was the last time you fertilized it?
And we have this one branch.
The only fertilizing I've been giving this has been the liquid fertilizer and with this stuff in it. So I haven't added any Osmocote. But it's been
Since we repotted.
right, and that's been only because
But you can tell when the new fresh.
Yeah, this was in here.
I think crop wouldn't be a bad idea.
Do you like that?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's got a pair of tweezers. That's what happens when you kind of spread the energy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I grew that out.
And see, I've never been.
This is like good because when you see this, you're like, oh yeah.
And when I got
There
done,
was a lot done in the last year and a half.
great idea.
They supposed to come every
3 years. I know, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you remember how cut that one, I couldn't get through the thing? Remember how big that truck was? So I didn't bring the right operator. Now I got the right operator. We'll break
Have you repotted it?
I was gonna do it this year, but I live in Altadena, and so I just didn't do anything. So I was planning to, but then the fires did. So I thought they lost everything that existed and into water for like 4 weeks.
Oh, nice.
So all my bonsai was in water. I lost about 10, and I got about 10 that are like struggling between life and death.
But your house is okay?
My house is okay, yeah.
Are you back in the?
Yeah, we just moved back 2 weeks ago.
Whereabouts are you at?
By Eaton Canyon, I'm right below the fire started.
Okay.
I've got like videos on my phone on Roosevelt.
Oh, yes.
We're cutting off things that are going straight up, right?
What you doing, Mike?
Short number 2.
I was just talking to a friend of mine.
Mike, walk us through what you're doing.
Well, we're just cleaning up the surface.
So you're removing the sphagnum moss that's left over?
Yeah, we're just kind of removing weeds, cleaning up the surface. All we're doing right now is cleaning up the surface, making sure the roots are buried.
Okay.
And get rid of the weeds and that sort of thing. Put some new fertilizer on it.
Would you re-sphagnum moss it again, or
When he gets home, he'll
you're probably doing it? So
I
another
don't have stuff tonight.
And it's young, so I'm gonna let
Like
that
this,
thicken up a little bit.
this is
I'm gonna
important
ask him about
stuff.
it. That was
So we want to make sure we keep that covered up, right?
keep all the surfaces kind of viable?
Yeah.
It is.
Would you do a new top dressing at all while you're at this stage, or it's not really worth
Branch is
it?
in a really nice location, but it's really young. Should I let it run, or
Yeah,
do
leave
you
it
want
alone. Let it go. Eventually, that's going to be a guy that will really be important to us.
I thought so. It seemed to be in a perfect location.
All right? Throw a little, you can put some of this in just to kind of keep it.
I made a bunch of them.
Oh, you do?
So when I get home, I'll put
some new, okay.
Yeah, I made a bunch of it. I thought that was a brilliant idea, as you can tell. I wanted to share it with everybody.
I try not to give them all my secrets all at once.
Well, that's why I asked first. Because I thought that was a really, really good
Because I
idea.
don't want to share them. If I don't want to tell everything all at once, they won't have no reason to have me back.
Right.
Most people don't have the trick of that. What is this exactly?
This is osmosis. It's like a 14, 14, 14. I like to think of these as like M&Ms. They have a hard candy shell with a liquid center. And they heat water as they eat. It releases that inside stuff. When they get old, you can pick up the old pieces and you put some plastic. So, they last about 10 to 12 weeks in the summertime, maybe 12 to 14 years. So every time I touch the tree, that's just my general rule. Good job, son. A lot of people are scared to my heart. What do you think, huh? Bitch, did the job? I'm glad I'm not doing this. We can cut this guy back.
It's starting to turn, so it's hardening off back here already.
This is like one of this one.
Yeah, and I turned mine down a little bit.
Because before, it was too choppy. Cut
So you're not really concerned so much about these things shedding, blocking the light right now, and just let them grow, and over time it'll take care of itself.
This one you want.
That guy's
So look at, you got one right there, you kind of aiming in the right direction.
Yeah.
So we can take this one off altogether and give all the energy to that guy. Yeah, you just aim. They basically they go right yes. The leaf's pointing where the branch is going to go. You're not worried about the branch.
Yeah, I'm gonna just let it run.
Not the same.
I want this to stick to Hey, that's it all you want.
So this was a big tree to start with. Yeah. And we cut this out of the pot. The base inside the pot was that big around.
No, not the osmocote. This is the organic. This is inorganic. So these are just all chemicals. But yeah, the bioavailable chicken food. I can't use that because my retriever just eats it all up. And so I use fish emulsion. Yeah, she'll go up here and she just like doesn't care if it's in a basket or if it's a tea bag. She just eats it.
They find it.
Yeah, so I use fish emulsion, and then my wife, so I try to do it when she's gone, because it tastes like it now. So I timed it wrong, so like a month ago when I did the fish emulsion, she's like, kind of eats all the other stuff. Yeah, because all the organics, yeah. So my dog eats it.
These came from he doesn't have the because this is from David Buck.
I know, yeah. That's probably so this one I bought it. Yeah. So like I wrapped it and then it was like I had my wife on one side and I did the other. Because yeah, I'm like I don't want to lose any of this. Well, yeah, so this wasn't repotted, so that was just with the winds, and I live in Altadena, so that was just the winds and the So I launched because I think water for 4 weeks. So yeah, it was a crazy.
Top side, aim him out this way.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
find
So we got lucky. So like.
Shorten that guy up a little bit back
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it was, like on my block, we're really lucky. It's like about 10% of the homes burnt down. But it's just weird. It's like one house here, then like 4 houses are good, and then like 3 houses are gone, and then like the block is good. But like there's like no rhyme or reason. I think what's interesting, so I was like I lived right where the fire started. So I think it just got so hot so fast.
So here we
All
go.
the embers just blew over us.
This is where it gets a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I think that's how I got really lucky. Because when we evacuated, like the fences were on fire.
Kind of want that.
My neighbor's roof was on fire.
There's a little more light into
It
these
just
guys
got the
back
winds just blew everything so fast.
This guy here.
That all the large stuff just went wet.
Back a little bit. Short ball back a little bit.
Yeah.
Take this guy. So you get more light down.
Yeah, whole air is gone. Yeah, without any rhyme or reason.
Take this guy out right here.
Yeah, we have
Anything,
quite a few goes on.
anything that's
I lost about 10 of them.
right there. You're going to keep
Well, a
this
couple
one.
from the fire, and then the other ones just because I took the water.
What if it's on the outside?
So like right here is another one.
We couldn't get back in.
growing out?
No, even still.
Okay, so it's still crop.
You only want
Because they had
two.
all the National
So
Guard.
you got the main and then the okay. So this actually you've got this, and this all happen in the same place. It's dead, so it's going to start to swell. So you've got one here and one here. This guy is going to have.
House is getting a lot of my pieces.
All right. You see what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay. And then same like up here. Just kind of follow your branches out and try to keep it at 2 in each case. Okay. We got a few more minutes. Just take your time. It doesn't have to be so much. You can always kind of do it. This is looking good tonight. I'm real proud of you. Kept this up.
How did you get this tree?
I won it in an auction, in a raffle here.
Oh, you do that too?
You get a lot of people that go up to convert for your customers.
What are you gonna do over here?
Does that work right
In this empty area here? Grow these branches?
No, there's going to be I'm going to be doing some thread grafting. So we're going to let one of these grow really long. And we're going to drill a hole through here, feed another branch through it, and allow the branch
You're serious?
to graft it.
I've never heard that's
Yeah, let it graft. So these bald spots that are right in here are going to have to be fixed with a thread graft.
I want to see that. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've seen it. When are you gonna do that?
Next spring.
I just wanted to see how many
So it won't be. I don't think it'll be during the summer, but it might be. It might be as early as the summer. But I'm inclined to think no.
Push a lot more hard. Get these branches coming down in here. You know, they don't have.
So you're looking.
You see the buds in there already,
This
man.
this is the front side from here. So you know.
Yeah, look at these buds already popping up. Now they got daylight in there. They're gonna take off, man.
You gave them a little food.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
Drop some branches. You done ready?
What am I going to do next?
Talk a little bit.
Oh, sure, I'm ready.
Talk a little bit about the future. You want to throw some hot potato on it? Sweet. All right. Here, let's throw a little of this guy on it.
Yeah, just whenever you're ready, I'll get their attention and go ahead and talk about them.
Each of the guys talk about the tree. These guys are gonna take off. So these are mine. Where's that other pair like this? What's on the end over there? Here it is. Here it is.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, we ready? Okay, can I get your attention, please? Everybody's attention? I'm gonna turn it back over to Michael. Everybody got your raffle tickets going? Like I said, this is in the raffle tonight. This one right here. Okay. So, all right, Michael.
So just a reminder, this is 2 years worth of work on these 3 trees. Basically from nursery stock. So the whole point of this idea was to be able to have you guys not be afraid to work with raw nursery stock. Go in and find stuff that's got, good nabari showing and pretty interesting movement, something that talks to you, but it's really rough. And just imagine how it might go, and don't be afraid. We basically just cut through the root ball to the right depth and put these into boxes, and they took off. Elms are really forgiving that way. And every time I've ever done this, it's worked like a charm. All right? So, that's pretty decent looking for 2 years, right? Yeah. This one here, this was the weakest of the bunch, and he's got good bones everywhere. This guy over here, I don't know if you guys saw the beginning pictures on this, but it had nothing growing on this side of the tree when it started. So the elms are really, really good material. They're a lot of fun. So what I'd like to do is have Mitch and Cedric talk a little bit about their trees and what they want to do with them going forward. I'm guessing that in probably another 2 or 3 years, we'll be able to start thinking about what pot would be best suited for these trees. And I'll bet you Lindsay would be more than happy to show them in his show. We've got good documentation, and it would be a lot of fun to have these things, show people that come to the show what the tree looked like at the onset and what the guys have been able to do with them in 5 or 6 years, and have them in a show. I think people that wander through would be pretty surprised at how fast trees can come along if you have a good idea and you pick the right kind of material. Anyway, so you want to go for it, Mitch?
Sure. The one thing that hasn't happened on this tree as we worked with it is it's been very reluctant to create any back budding in through this region of the tree. So it's got this kind of a gooseneck that just kind of sits out here. So I imagine that sometime in the near future, going to be trying to put a thread graft in here to start putting some branches in through here and out through here to try to fill this chasm, this void that is taking place right now. We did get some really nice branches, back budding that we needed. So this was a very advantageous one, is this on the back here. And then this one right here. But I was hoping that after the last time we cut it back, we would be seeing more of that in through here and up in other regions, and it just isn't happening. So I would imagine that probably the next big thing with this is going to be doing some thread grafting to fill in the areas where the tree hasn't given us what we're hoping for. And that's just the nature of the tree. A couple people were asking if I had a vision for the tree. Well, I mean, as far as the vision for the tree, it's whatever the tree kind of wants to give us. And this is going to be where the apex is going to be. This is going to be the maximum height of this thing. So the apex is going to be in this general region over here. And so we'll keep trying to encourage it to back bud more, but if we don't get them where we want them, in this region, we're gonna have to add some in there and try to get it to fill out, so.
What's a thread graft?
Thread graft, we're gonna drill a very small hole, we're gonna let one of these really run, and we'll make sure that the buds don't get too big, and we're gonna feed it through there, and allow them to fuse, and then we'll have a new branch, so, and that's I think what the plan's gonna be, so.
That could
That's
be
it.
the next demo.
Huh?
That could be the next demo. Part 4.
Yeah, so.
Thread grafting.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a few things that are a little bit, you know, there's kind of a knob here, that it may not look like much of anything once the tree, fills out a little bit more. We might consider what to do about these 2 parallel branches on this side here. This is a bit of an eyesore, and maybe a thread graft would replace those, but I don't really want to set the tree back that far to put a thread graft to take place one of those. That just may be part of the character of the tree.
Pull one down and leave one up.
We've pulled this one has already been pulled one time. And I don't know. I mean, it's getting pretty stiff to be pulling it around. So I don't know, but that's the one thing that I look at when I'm looking at the front of the tree, that I don't like the appearance of this. We originally left these to help this scar heal, and it really worked really well. This is healing nicely, but so that's the one thing about the tree is that I look at that I go, you know, maybe when it's all ramified, you won't notice it quite as much, but right now it's kind of funky looking, I think. So.
Anything else? Anybody have any questions?
What's the,
It's his tree. We're doing it his way.
do you know what the success rate for the graft is on your homes?
100%. I don't know that.
That's pretty confident. I back up.
No, I know. I'm sorry, but I mean, from what I understand about it is that it is just about the most conservative way you can try to graft, and has a very high success rate compared to approach grafting and other things. So, you know, so that's I don't know specifically. I imagine the success rate has a lot to do with the grafter, you know, which would be, you know, me. So I'll be learning when I do that. So, yeah. Anything else? I'll tell you a lie. Oh, okay. So that's it.
Very nice.
Alright, so this tree, when I got it, like, when Mike said this was the weakest tree, so it didn't have any branching. So really spent the last year and a half letting it run and thicken to get branches. Originally, it actually stopped here, and I didn't like the movement. They were just like an L. So over the last year, grew all this out. This let run like 10 feet long, and then cut it back last November. I think for the tree, probably about here in terms of the apex of the height. But now with the main branching set, we're just gonna let it ramify and then get it backletting. It's already started in a few areas. That's kind of it for this tree. I'm just happy it's alive, so.
So Cedric's house, got, what, they shut it, they didn't let you into your neighborhood?
Yeah,
for
so
over a
I was
month?
really lucky. So our house did not burn down, but we were in the zone. So like my trees didn't get any water for 4 weeks because I couldn't get into our access.
Wow. So that was January, and you got back in like first or second week of February.
Yeah, into our house. Yeah, I didn't move back into this last week, but yeah, I was able to start watering back like first week of February.
Wow. You gotta dub that tree the survivor.
Yeah, so I was like really happy. I did lose like 10 of my trees, but you know, I was going and check my wife, driving my wife crazy because I kept looking, do I see a bud? Do I see a bud? Most ginkgos just budded like a week ago, so I was really worried about my ginkgos, and my pine tree is like 50-50, but yeah, so these, like he said, these things will last in Southern California. They're solid.
I saw you scraping away at the soil there? What were you doing?
Well, so usually like every year I'll clean the topsoil off. This year I was late, and so part of it because of the fire, all the ash and soot. That was the other problem with the trees when I got back in. It was like adobe clay. It just so hard. So all my trees I had to repot because I didn't have a choice because all the soot and ash just bonded with like the lava and the pumice, and so there was no water absorption.
Yeah, with that rain, it probably all just fused.
Yeah, it just fused and it was like this. So I had to just repot everything. And so here, I was just changing the top dressing, and Mike lent me some more Osmo coat just to get put on top of this. I would have repotted this if things had been different, because there are a lot of roots that have come up on the top. But I'll wait for next year.
Good job, guys. Are there any other questions?
What about the one in the corner there?
What about it?
Whose is that? And
That's Joe's.
is Joe
Well,
gonna talk about it?
So we tried to do a thread graft on this. and
Yeah.
I have had, like Mitch said, I've had 100% success with thread grafts on maples and elms until I did this tree. And I don't know what Joe did to it. It blew my record.
So it came out here and we stayed through here, but we think we got it too close to the,
To a wound.
yeah, to a wound where we had cut it off right here. And this side was nice, and this side just didn't come back. And so we cut it off on Monday. And, yeah, we boxed this one just before we boxed these. This one he got from Bob Pressler, and,
It's got a little different bark on it.
yeah, and we did, 4 or 5 trees at your house.
Yeah.
With these two, and then we saved these trees for, his demo a few years ago. And so, but it was like Cedric Street and Mitchell Street, it was out to here when I took it Monday. So, but it's coming along, so we just cut the main branch off of here, and the graft going in here, and the graft coming in over here. But we have something that grew in here, so it's not too bad. So, that's actually the front right there, so. We're gonna probably index it just a little bit more when we repot it. Same with that one, just a little bit. But this is the side I wanna keep it. Now, we wired the top, the apex to bring it forward. I left a big loop here because you guys know when these things start flushing out, you cannot find a wire. And in about 2 weeks, you're gonna start getting scarred. So a lot of times what I'll do is if I have wire on a branch, I'll leave a tie wire on there. So I'll remember to go in there, find that wire, loosen it up, because they'll scar and it'll never go away. So this is right at the top, so I wanna make sure, because we wired this branch and this branch. So I wanna make sure that 2 weeks I'm gonna go in and loosen it back up and check it, and if it's in place, I'll take it off, but if it's not, then I'll put it back on. So most of these will be pulled down, have a piece of hose around the wire. That's why we like to pull them down rather than wiring down, because you need that pressure to pull it down, and you get those branches like that, and they just scar so fast. Plus, this is pretty corky right now, and I didn't want to lose the corking on this. So it's starting to cork from here up. You can see in the back here, all these branches here are starting to cork out. So, you want to be careful that you don't want to lose your cork. Because the corking, it's not going to grow back, but it'll grow over. So once you lose that piece, it's gone. You can try to glue it on, but I think as the other pieces go like this, it's eventually going to flick back off. So, but if you do lose a big piece, you might want to save it and you glue it back on. I've done that on a couple of trees when I was cleaning them up and ready for a show. And you got that spot there, oh no, now I gotta fix it. So just put some super glue on there, just stick it on there. So, that's a good thing. And that one over there, like I said, we took that Monday, and it was also out to we cut about 3 feet, just like this. Cut about 3 feet off of that one too. And same thing, just verify it, get it to where we want it to be, and it's looking pretty good. So, thank you.
Those two
I didn't hear you.
This one, yours, and the one on the end look like the same variety, and then these two look like the same.
Oh, okay.
The bark wise.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, these 3 came from Ed Clark. So, and then you picked up like, I don't know, about 5 or 6 of them at your house that we repotted. And yeah, I went over and had fun with them. planted about 6 of them, and, you know, I got to learn how to make boxes with them and stuff like that, and so. And the whole thing about, our club, you know, we're digital trees, so to learn how to do it from the ground up is very important, because that's something I've never done. I've always gotten a tree in a nursery stock and just, you know, trimmed it up from where it was. So building it from scratch, it's what I really wanted to do. This is, you know, you can see it just, now you can say that's your tree that you built from scratch, you know. You hear these guys, oh yeah, I had that tree 40 years, 50 years. I've never had a tree. I've had them 10, 15 years, but not a tree that I grown from nothing, you know, and that's the whole thing we wanted to learn. And it's very important when you can get a tree and say, no, that's my tree I grew. You know, makes a big difference where you say, well, I bought that from somebody and I recreated it, you know. So you can call it your own, but it's not really your own until you really put your hands on it from the ground up. And like I say, cutting the root ball and then starting from scratch with no branches. And this tree had, that one over there especially, had nothing. If you look at the picture here, had nothing on this side here at all. In this one picture right here, there's nothing here. And very little on that center branch too. So we did have the top, but very little on all of them. So they're coming along. And like I said, I got that about 8 months ago, 10 months ago, because Michael had it. No, Lindsay had it first. And then you had it for about 6 months, and then you put it back in the raffle, gave it to Mike, and then Mike gave it to me last year. I lost a bunch of trees, so I said, here, go play with that one. So, you know, so I got lucky, and they're coming out really nice. So.
Do you guys know how old these trees are, more or less?
Good question. So, a lot of this stuff, Ed and both Ed and Bob grew in ground for, you know, thicken them up pretty quickly, and then they dig them up. Now, Bob had a cork elm growing in the corner of his nursery when he bought it back in like the early 90s. And he used to take cuttings off of that, and it also pushed up suckers. So he was taking suckers and cuttings and turning those into trees. And so almost every elm that he had, cork elm that he has, came from that mother tree in the back of his nursery. He eventually dug that root ball up and just killed it. Well, so elms are pretty amazing. Once the roots get down into the ground, you can go flat cut them and they'll sprout again. I have that particular elm over there that Joe's got, that one came from Pressler's, and it was in a 1 gallon nursery can or a 5 gallon nursery can, and I had it sitting out in my yard. And I was gonna do this kind of a demo for Sansui Kai, or with Santa Anita, one of the two. And COVID happened, and so we didn't get to do the progressive that we wanted to do. And so those trees just sat there. They got roots down into the ground, and I needed to get them out of there. Joe and I just went and bent the can over and took a Sawzall and cut them off and left the roots in the ground and took them in and started putting them in boxes, right? Those roots now have 18-foot leaders on them, every one of them.
I was there Monday, I ain't kidding you. They're up there. Unbelievable. In 3 years.
So yeah, I need to go back and cut those off. I'm gonna air layer them off and make trees out of those, because that material is hard to find anymore. Pressler's not growing it. Ed Clark quit growing it. Elms, almost all of the elms you find now in nurseries are grown for landscape material. And the way they grow those is they grow sticks straight up. They take off all the low branches, and you don't see any branching on them until they get up about, 4 or 5 feet is what nurserymen start to put their branches on. And so they're just poles for about 4 or 5 feet, and then the branches start. What are you supposed to do with that? So actually started in San Diego in January. We bought some of that stuff for pretty inexpensive, and I showed them what broom style elms look like. And so we just flat cut those up, and I went back last weekend and they were just shrubs. And we cut all of that back to the branches that we wanted to keep, and we're gonna build, you know, broom style out of that stuff, and it's gonna be really fun. So same idea, just a different style.
Any questions? Thank you, Michael. Hey, Chris, you want him to pull a ticket?